Well, it's the start of a fresh new year, and you know what that means? Actually, you don't, because I've never done this before. It's time for the FrakiReviewShow Game of the Year Awards, of course. Ooh. In these videos, which I'm apparently making a thing now, we will take a look back at the year and award games based on different categories. Now I say award, but I mean, come on, you know me. I'm the most negative person in the world, so you can bet your ass that most of these categories are not actually positive in any way, shape or form. The Game of the Year award goes to the game with the best music, and it is at this point I'd just like to say that no logical thought went into any of the nominations or categories on this video. They're all just based on what I thought were the best, so if you disagree with me then who the fuck cares? Okay, now that I've deflected all the comments calling me a fucking idiot on anything I choose, the You Tried award for runners-up goes to Xenoblade Chronicles X. The original Xenoblade had quite possibly my favourite OST of all time, and honestly I would have just given this award to Xenoblade 3D if it didn't feel so cheap to give the award to a game that's technically 5 years old now. Xenoblade X definitely lives up to this high bar, but is sadly let down by the fact they ruined it with god-awful rap music. The entire OST is like, holy crap, this is really cool, and then
in a distant land, we're stuck on a whole different planet. No peace looking at the sky, trouble's always all around, so we stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as you can.
Not even a distant land, we're stuck on a whole different planet. The actual winner of the Game of the Year award goes to Undertale. This massive 77 track long OST is simply put one of the greatest soundtracks ever composed for a video game. Now I'm not gonna rattle on about how the iambic pentameter of the songs are spot on or something dumb like that. Before anyone comments, yes I know iambic pentameter has nothing to do with music, I was making a joke, shut up, but oh my god, do yourself a favour, play Undertale. If not for the gameplay, then just simply for the music. Or you know, I suppose you could type in Undertale OST on YouTube. I mean, that's also an option if you want to do that. The Game of the Fear award goes to the game that was the scariest, and me of all people are definitely the most qualified to give out this award considering the only horror game I bought this year I haven't actually got around to playing yet. Oops. In any case, the You Tried runners-up award goes to Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh god, they made another one. The fact that in just over a year, Five Nights at Freddy's has had 5 games made of it, and is now getting a novel and a frickin' movie made about it, is pretty goddamn scary in my opinion. The winner of the Game of the Fear award goes to Alien Isolation for being the only horror game I actually bought this year. Now I know what you're thinking. Alien Isolation came out in 2014. Ah shit, you're right. But to that I'll reply that the Linux and Mac versions of the game didn't come out till 2015, so yeah. All 5 people who own Linux can play that now, woo! The Game of the Disappear award goes to I forgot actually. It goes to the most forgetful game that came out this year, and basically all I did for this award was look through a list of games that came out in 2015, and if it made me go, oh, I forgot about that one, then I made it a nomination. As you can see, only the highest quality of preparation and research goes into my videos. The obligatory An Attempt Was Made runners-up award goes to Evolve, and I'm gonna guess by just saying its name I don't need to justify why. The winner of the actual award goes to Battlefield Hardline, which is exactly what I would say if it came out in 2015, but it didn't. It came out shortly after the beta, which was also shortly after E3 2014. The actual Game of the Disappear award goes to Battlefield Hardline, because I actually pulled a sneaky double ruse on you and actually came out in 2015. Truly, I am the master of tricks and japes, and I really hope I fooled at least one of you guys with that, otherwise I'm gonna look like a massive twat right now. The Game of the Tier award goes to the game which was so disappointing that the disappointment felt while playing it could only be matched by a parent discovering their 12-year-old's Minecraft channel. Now before I announce the runner-up, let me ask you a question. How do you mess up a tried, tested, and perfected formula like the Tony Hawk series? Well, apparently you make a fifth one. Now before I announce the winner, let me ask you another question. How do you mess up a tried, tested, and perfected formula like Star Wars Battlefront? Step 1. Cut out the single player. Step 2. Cut out the prequel trilogy. Step 3. Only include 4 maps. Step 4. Only include 12 weapons. Step 5. Fuck it, why not? Let's throw in a £40 season pass while we're at it. This is not okay. The graphics are phenomenal. I don't think we've ever gotten a more perfect representation of the Star Wars universe in video game form before, which only makes the fact that the game sucks hurt so much more. The Game of the Oh Dear award goes to the game which was hands down the worst released this year. That year. 2015. And to be honest, I had a rather hard time choosing a game to win the runners-up award. Not because there was a lack of bad games released in 2015, god no. It's just that the game that won the award pretty much overshadowed everything else released that year. This year. 2015. So, I don't know. Wasn't that new Alone in the Dark game supposed to be shite? When you purchase a PC game, there's normally 2 things you're looking out for as you load it up. Does it look like you'll enjoy it, and will it actually run? And whereas the answer to the first part varies from person to person, almost all people who bought the winner of the Game of the Oh Dear award certainly couldn't run it. I am of course talking about the abysmal PC version of Batman Arkham Knight, a game so bad, so unbelievably broken, that they had to literally remove the game from Steam in order to spend 4 months trying to fix it. And then it still didn't work when they released it again. This is hands down the worst PC port of all time. I dare you to try and find one worse. This section of the video is dedicated to the Game of the Sneer award, a title so clever that I was unable to come up with it myself. I had enlisted the help of 4 high heels who for some reason apparently wanted to be in one of my videos. Or at least, that was the plan. I approached 4. And by approached I mean sent him a Twitter message, asking if he would be down to help with a Game of the Year video, and he was all like,
yeah.
So that was gonna be all fine and dandy until 4 fucked me in the ass. And then after that he told me he wasn't gonna be able to help out.
I may have already just made a Goatsy video myself, which will now magically appear on screen. Nudge nudge, link link. And, well, because of that, I can't really muster up anything else to say. So, yeah, sucks for you, dude.
To which I replied, oh boy, it's the biggie. The Game of the Year award. I had a hell of a lot of games to choose from to win this. Xenoblade X and 3D, Splatoon, Super Mario Maker, Majora's Mask 3D, all of these were great games that I enjoyed playing this year and all were worthy of this spot. But upon closer inspection, I realised I had made a terrible mistake. These are all Nintendo games. You know how you normally get those special editions of games with Game of the Year splattered across them? And then there's so many every year the term begins to lose its meaning? Yeah, when was the last time you saw a Nintendo game with one of them? As far as I can find out from 5 seconds of Google searching, the last game to have this was Ocarina of Time on the N64. Now one could argue that this is because Nintendo doesn't release an excessive amount of DLC after launch, to necessitate combining it into one package, but I think it is clear that the fact of the matter is obviously 100% clear that Nintendo just aren't good enough to earn Game of the Year awards, obviously, and I don't want to go against the norm. Definitely not that I just don't have any way of getting footage for these games. So that left me having to try and find a new winner, a game that I played in 2015, that actually came out in 2015. That isn't a Nintendo game. And that won't piss off everyone who watches me. Oh wait, there's nothing here. Well, I guess Undertale's good enough. Undertale was a game that everyone on the internet has been filleting recently, and while I gave it a little tease earlier with the Game of the Year award, it is now time to slowly work my way down the shaft to the meaty balls of this game. Anyway, the problem with talking about Undertale is that it is honestly a game that I feel was much better if you go in not knowing what to expect. But then again, at the same time, I can't exactly tell anyone who hasn't played it before to sod off, so don't say I didn't warn you. Before we get into why Undertale wins my personal Game of the Year Except Not Really award, I'm gonna talk about it for a bit because such a prestigious honour warrants the occasion. Or something. You play as a kid. They don't really have a name because you get to name them yourself. For the purpose of this video, I will be calling them Kid, and referring to them as a girl because honestly, once I drew the connection between her and Dora the Explorer, I couldn't get it out of my head. Though a younger version of James May is also an acceptable comparison. Kid was exploring a mountain one day, as you do, when she fell down a hole, leading her into the underground, a world inhabited by monsters who want to kill you, take your soul, and use it to break the barrier that has kept them sealed there. Or at least that's what the game says, but a lot of the monsters are actually quite pleasant. And so you begin your adventure through the underground as you try to guide the lost kid back home in a wacky, zany, sort of Earthbound style of game, though don't expect anything quite as deep as a normal RPG in here. The reason Undertale has won this award isn't for anything like its awesome game design and story, though those elements do definitely play a part in it. Simply put, it was the single most fun I had with any game in 2015 and is quite possibly the funniest game I've played in my life. I honestly can't think of a single part of the entire game that I wasn't smiling or laughing through. Okay, well, maybe just one part. The cast of characters you meet across the world are nicely varied, each having their own unique personalities and memorable moments. Undertale somehow managed to make the two most hated fonts in history into likeable things. I legitimately don't mind Papyrus as a font now because of this game, and I hate it. There are games out there that were made specifically for the purpose of being comedic that didn't make me laugh as much as Undertale did. And we haven't even talked about the gameplay, or the story, or the million other things that this game did so right. The gameplay is honestly quite simple for what it is. It's an RPG, but in the most bare bones meaning of the term. All it really means is that you walk, and there are battles that you walk into. There aren't really any stats, there's no classes, hell you can even make it through the whole game without leveling up. But the mix between a simple RPG system, with a Shin Megami Tensei dialogue feature to spare enemies, plus bullet hell mechanics straight out of Touhou, set my wiener on a crash course to the fucking moon. Only to come plummeting back down when a stupid ass puzzle showed its face, but you know, gotta mix up all that walking with something I suppose. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Undertale is perfect by any means. The quality of the graphics is sometimes inconsistent, as in, oh wow, that's a nice looking background. Why has half your face caved in? The puzzles can be pretty weak, the game has numerous bugs. Some say the Weeaboo Lizard is pretty annoying, and I swear I've strained my eyes trying to record footage for this game, the window is so freaking small. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because everything this game does right more than makes up for it. Incredible story, fun gameplay, and one of my favourite OSTs of all time. I cannot recommend Undertale enough for anyone looking for a game to play. Some people don't want to play it because it manages to attract the worst of the Tumblr and Homestuck fan bases, which, come to think of it, are kind of the same thing. My advice to you guys would be to play it, but don't let anyone actually know you did so you don't become associated with them. And to those who hate it without ever having played it, simply because it's popular and is therefore trash, if I may make a suggestion, I would try removing your head from your arse to stop filling it with shit opinions. Gosh, that was a bit violent, wasn't it?